You're listening to WOT, Episode 8 for July 21st, 2014. Welcome to FWOT. I'm your host, Rob Steele, and I know you're wondering, what is FWOT? FWOT is a word I made up. It's actually short for f***ing what. It's just a more politically correct way of saying it, and I know you want to say it, especially when you hear news stories like this. Todd Akin. You remember Todd Akin? He was the guy who said women cannot get pregnant by legitimate rape because, quote, their body has a way of shutting that down. You remember him? The idiot? Yeah. He apologized for that because, apparently in the third grade, you're allowed to take things back, and he is the world's oldest third grader because you can tell that's the kind of intellect he has if he thinks that's what can happen. Well, he's back in the news. He says he Googled the situation, which is kind of like looking it up on Wikipedia, and he says there's a lot of stuff showing how stress affects conception. And so rape, being a form of stress, means that you cannot get pregnant from legitimate rape. What? I think it's time to actually write a letter. Dear Mr. Akin, there are different types of stress on the body. When you are trying to conceive purposefully, it can create some stress, which may have to do with conception. There are, however, other types of stress, like, holy I've been shot. That's a different kind of stress. I'm fairly certain I can't get pregnant from getting shot either, although that type of stress does not prevent me from bleeding profusely. I would now like to schedule you for your rectal craniumectomy so your head can be officially removed from your ass. Sincerely, everyone who's ever heard you speak. There. Now we put it in the envelope and the mailbox, and we'll know that it never really gets there because they've cut funding for the mail services. That was purposeful. There was a story circulating a couple of weeks ago about a girl who was seen at the World Cup. And they said, oh, she's so pretty, we'd like her to be a model, so she was signed to a model deal. And then she posted a picture of her, I think it was hunting an antelope with a big gun. And, hey, look what I killed, one of those pictures. And then she was fired from the modeling job because of that picture. And people said she should not be fired because she's expressing her right to show that she approves of firearms. Folks, how about the model company's right to not hire you because they don't like firearms? They have rights too. Similar to, I'm going to bring this up because I think this is asinine. One of my daughter's friends is going to a convention, one of those, not Comic-Con, but like it. And she said that she saved up all her money, and so she'll be eating nothing but peanut butter sandwiches in her hotel room while she stays there because it's a money-saving thing. And she's apparently getting flamed online because people say that if she eats peanut butter, that's endangering the rights of the people who are allergic to peanuts who may be at the convention. What? No, unless they, kiss her with tongue while she's eating. They're going to be fine. Shut the hell up. The name Benjamin Netanyahu came up again today, and frankly, I don't know why I wasn't paying enough attention, but I do want to ask you, doesn't Netanyahu sound like a character from a Dr. Seuss book? There was a story on NPR this morning about there being a drought in California. I'd like to point out a couple things on this. One, most of California is a desert. It's supposed to be dry. Those of you who keep trying to grow grass out there, and I don't mean the stuff you smoke, I mean the green stuff outside on your yard. Yeah, folks, it doesn't belong in California. Unnatural. Stop doing it. Stop getting facelifts while you're at it, but that's another subject altogether. Now, people along the coast, think about this, people along the coast are saying there's no water. If there was no water, you wouldn't have a coast now, would you? Let's look at the coastlines in the United States. By state, Alaska has the longest coastline because, well, it's the biggest state and most of it's surrounded by water. Ha! What do you know? The second one, Florida, because it's the penis-shaped thing at the end of the United States and it's surrounded by water. The third one, California, the state with the drought, has the third longest coastline of all of the United States. You'll notice Hawaii is number 4 after California, and Hawaii is an island. That's a hint. Now, for those of you who say, but it's salt water, it won't do any good inland, you know what? There's a way to remove the salt from the water. And we need to make more jobs in this country, so here's an idea. Build some more places that remove salt from seawater. Look, you've solved the drought problem. We now have a lot of water. You've created jobs. You've made a nice influx into the economy. What do you know? That might just work. Why don't you give that a shot? In sports this week, MC ELROY, my boy from the Jetsons, won a golf tournament this weekend. What?
It's McElroy, not MC ELROY.
Are you sure?
Yes, I'm sure.
So this is really just as boring as every other golf story I've ever read?
Yeah, pretty much.
Not much of a point in continuing this then, is there?
No, not really.
Something else I've been seeing a lot of lately is a lot of Republicans. You know I'm going somewhere with this. A lot of Republicans have been complaining about how Barack Obama didn't do anything about the invasions by Russia into other countries, and that is why that plane was shot down last week. It's Obama's fault. What? Basically, the facts that come out of these stories are the plane was shot down, and Barack Obama is the president. Other than that, there really are no facts in these stories. The conclusions they're drawing is that because the plane was shot down and Barack Obama was the president, that Barack Obama must have shot down the plane. No, I'm afraid that's wrong. I mean, yes, the United States is a world power, but we don't run everything. Seriously, you can't blame Barack Obama for everything. Remember that whole treat people like you want to be treated thing? Just don't get it. And it all goes back, basically, to the same concept of my daughter, my youngest one. She's 6. And she likes playing video games, but she likes playing those games where, it's just you, but she has friends come over, and so they try to take turns, but they don't. Because she wants to play it, and she's done, and she won, and she did good, and now it's her friend's turn, but she doesn't want to give it up. Well, you know what? You need to go to your room and think about that, because you're not being nice and playing fair. Dear Republicans. Well, okay, frankly, Bush did screw up a lot of stuff. But you know what? You then lost the election. It's someone else's turn. Here's an idea. Shut up and play along. Or we're going to send you to your room and let you think about that. Like the 6-year-old you're acting like. If you want to follow me on Twitter, Facebook, or Podomatic, just remember, I'm not sure where I'm going. But you can find all that information on the website, FWOTpodcast.com, FWOT. I know you know that because you've already found me once. Just remember to tell your friends. See you Wednesday.